Good night, Papua New Guinea, and welcome to this week's episode of Sports Scene. It's always great to have your company. I'm Elijah Lavette, and I'm joined by the one and only Miss Dini Rose Raiko. Dini, how has it been?
Oh, my week has been slow. It's been slow. I think the most controversial story I've come across so far during the week is the football PNGFA one involving Mr. John.
Yeah, Mr. John Wesley
Gonjuan. So that story coming up later.
Yes, that's coming up later. We also have the POM Rugby League Grand Final preview. We'll also bring you some junior basketball action and netball. But apart from that, this is also what's coming up on tonight's show.
We begin with Rugby League, and the Central Province Premier League continued into round 2 last week. The theme of the tournament is doing it the Central way, and it's been received well, with the Goilala team leading the way in the campaign, encouraging youths to stay away from drug and alcohol abuse and lawlessness.
They are known for all the wrong reasons, labelled and linked to the many petty crimes in the city. Hold that general view of the Goilala until you see them play rugby league. On a busy Friday, the A-grade team brought with it its A game along with its many fans.
Players bumio kada Qatar staplo mostly sugeri samplalo 6 mile samplalo anobara samtalo varavara 2 mile make up all goilales lo morata where all goilales sap and all youth lo goilala et and mi pla kama pantem goilala karukas planti mangi cut down lo drug na planti mangi cut down lo go out lo back steal more bag or something about lo kind normal attitude ball youth lo NCDC or mainly all goilala begini so I'm cut down some something because plenty ball complain and then plenty ball bring more supporters now players again come inside people got discipline money only mora mi play na palau mem lo proxim feel money walking karangi out of where mi platin like argue one time some community and mi put him off the field so I can line him up na and then I can discipline him lo committee him lo sports.
The journey of the Goilala Karukas is as old as the concept of the CPPL itself. The Karukas is one of the few surviving teams of the tournament.
2014, the Central Premier League team start off. The late Daniel Mona been attending meeting lo lamana, and then time all members he attending all talk starting Central Premier League. So here comes Daniel Mona and calling me come up organizing more mangi. So mix him all mangi inside one settlements. Me like make him all come up sportsmen. So stop him this a bad name that MSAPL or newspaper. So when time will come up on sports, I think I'm by cut down law. All activities that walking name do impla Goilala Nogulo City. Sahel province all believe also how cannot Goilala play. All underestimate Mipla play, but Mipla first game Mipla prove him all wrongly and Mipla going to the grand final. And Mipla prove him central wrongly and then that's how Mipla start off from the first game. So that's how Mipla go to triple grand finals. The big one at Aroma, which Mipla going to a big problem and then a big incident, or like penalizing club, but we pay him 8,000 to PNG RFL. So all symbol boys go back. So Mipla start off play one time Central Premier Rugby.
The CPPL isn't the only place the boys from Inland Central have travelled and play their footy. They have taken part in various competitions around the province and in the city.
We play the Central Premier League, we play the Quarry League, we play the Erie League, and then NCDC Power Spark of Cup, we play, and then just in Tetengok. cup lo Mosby South.
The second week of Central's Hardware House Agarobe Cup was again a display of rugby league festivities. A controlled crowd provided a good atmosphere for the game without any nuisance. The only loud calls came from the coaches to their players on field, none louder than former intercity player Gimapau Keimelo. He is now coach of the Aroma Coast team.
It can be a bit noisy, but that's the nature of it. I've been fortunately coached by a very good coach, Richard Wagam, who was also a former Kumuls. So it's different from playing. Sometimes the guys won't play your way, but it's up to them. They play what's in front of them. But it's a good experience working with the rural-based players.
As a player, Gimapau Keimelo was a star in the Intercity Cup in his time.
And there's an intercept by Keimelo. Has he got the speed up the left-hand flank? He claps it on now. He has got the speed. He'll dive over and put it down. And that came from an error by the outsiders, the outside backs for the Miocs. With a bad pass, it went to ground. There was no urgency cleaning it up. Keimelo was there. He managed to swoop it up, and then it was a foot race. I didn't think he had the pace, but geez, he's proved me wrong. He's clapped it on, and in the end, he scored it quite comfortably out wide, diving over. Okay, so Keimelo coming back infield again. He scored a try just 30 seconds ago. Now he slips a one-hander out to his left, and flying through is Wilfred Henry, and Henry on the fly, untouched, will put it down.
Now he is pleased to impart some of his skills back to the young players.
I've always wanted to be part of development, and I'm always happy and willing to help in developing the players. So I'm good. I enjoy the company, and I think they enjoy my company too.
We'll go for a break now, and on the other side, some controversy in football. Stay with us. Welcome back, you're watching Sports Scene. To football now, and PNG football is back in the spotlight once more, this time regarding former Senior Vice President John Wesley Gonjuan.
Gonjuan was competition manager back in 2016 for the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup Local Organizing Committee, was found guilty by FIFA's adjudicatory chamber of the Independent Ethics Committee for having conflicts of interest and for offering and accepting gifts or benefits in violation of FIFA Code of Ethics.
According to a FIFA media release sent out late last week, an investigation identified that a company owned by Gonjuan produced a receipt of an amount in 2016 was found to be unjustified, and given his role during the FIFA World Cup, the adjudicatory chamber deemed it a conflict of interest. As of last Friday, the 4th of October, a fine of 50,000 Swiss francs, that's the equivalent of over 171,000 in PNG Kina, was imposed on Mr. Gonjuan, along with a 2-year 8-month ban from participating in any football-related activity, whether it be national or international. The press statement further states that he was found guilty of breaching Article 19, which is conflict of interest, and Article 20, offering and accepting gifts or other benefits of the 2019 edition of the FIFA Code of Ethics. Consequently, Gonjuan has taken leave of the Port Moresby Soccer Association president post on Sunday, 6th October, and Joseph Eladona stepped in to head the Capital Soccer Association. Sportscene reached out to Mr. Gonjuan for an on-camera interview, although we were provided a press statement of his response. In the statement, Gonjuan says, during the preparation and delivery of the tournament, we engaged casuals to join the different departments within the LOC, and in the competition department were 70+ casuals engaged. Nearly 90% of those casuals had no bank account. and or never had any formal employment prior to their engagement with the LOC. They were unemployed youths from within different suburbs of NCD. FIFA had a no-cash policy, therefore it was difficult for LOC to pay those volunteers. With that in mind, the LOC CEO approached me to engage my company to manage the compensation or allowances for these volunteers. The rest of Mr. Gonjuan's statement can be found on our Sports In Facebook page. A minor setback for PNGFA there, Elijah, but I'm sure they'll get things rolling once more. For Mr. Gonjuan himself, he said he'll be seeking a legal advice, and from here on he'll come back to the public with whatever he has.
He sent out his media release saying that he has discussed the matter with his lawyers to review the decision, the FIFA Ethics Committee's decision, and will decide their next action.
Yeah, about one of the charges, that's conflict of interest. That one, in his press release, he stated that FIFA doesn't accept any sort of cash payouts, and that's why the LOC asked him to step in with his company and become the middleman that does payments for all these people who were working for FIFA during the LOC during the Under-20 Women's World Cup in 2016. So,
so he states that in his media release, he states that the FIFA investigation found that he was guilty of Article 19, which is conflict of interest, and 20, which is offering and accepting gifts or other benefits. And he says the investigation was conducted from the LOC financial report, which was sent after the FIFA Under-20 Women's World Cup. So
And the irony also is the same situation happened for UEFA's president a while back. That was in 2015, and they gave him a 4-year ban, Michel Platini, for about the same thing. The soccer boss, they charged him for some ethics violation as well. So his 4-year ban just ended on Monday. So Mr. Gonjuan's ban was effective as of last Friday when they notified him. So.
Well, also a lot of senior people in the different, especially in the Pacific region, involved in football. Many have been banned from football by FIFA due to misappropriation of funds and all that, and they've been banned by FIFA for not.
And it's a worldwide sport, and it's a very big sporting body, so they're very careful with money especially, so of course audits happen every now and then. So let's see how it goes from here on. So.
Yes. Anyway, to the NSL now, in the 2019 National Soccer League season is fast approaching. Papua New Guinea Football Association announced the 2019 competition, which includes a Premier Division comprising of not more than 8 teams.
The 2019 Kumuls Petroleum NSL competition is set to kick off on November 16. The PNGFA sanctioned 2019-2020 tournament opens with a new twist. The Football Authority yet again announced another format.
The next league that we will be starting is called the Premier Division, Men's Division, Premier Division. That Premier Division will be a national competition, which will go back to what we used to do in the early years of a home and away matches. So in this home and away matches will be played between Inlay, Port Moresby, and if Madang comes in, it will be in Madang, and then also in Goroka, in the Highlands, and in Kimbe. From the Premier League, it's now going to be open expression of interest. And the number that we're going to give is maximum is 8 clubs, minimum is 6 clubs. But we're giving 2 spots, one to the Highlands and one into the New Guinea Islands, so that this national competitions is played nationwide.
It's not the first time the soccer body has made changes to the competition structure. The PNGFA says it's done this for the better.
So we're doing that because in 2021 or 2022, Oceania will go into a professional league. Okay? It is coming around the clock. That's why it is making us to plan ahead. So once we have our Premier League, some of those clubs that are playing in the Premier League feels that they want to enter the professional league, they do so. What we're doing is we're preparing them to be professional, and that's what they need to do. We're not now trying to just fill the club, take them off, fill the club, take them off. No, we want to prepare them for the future.
We would also encourage the clubs to get the clubs and not just turn it as a social club. We would like the clubs to become an institution. We hear a lot about clubs in Europe and clubs in Americas and in England. You know, those clubs are no longer a club. They are an institution and they operate totally different.
The previous season saw an absence of a national competition. Sticking to a conference structure, teams only played within the regions, only to play outside of the conference when they were successful.
We are now giving the Conference League back to the member associations. Meaning that last year we had a Conference League here, which played by interested clubs who gave an expression of interest. This year, the Conference League will be given back to the member association, first preference. It will be given, like, for example, in the southern region, it will be given to Tabubil Soccer Association, it will be given to PSSA Association, it will be given to PMSA, it will be given to COPA. So the association will be given a first preference of putting a Conference League, so that we are trying to promote the member association as well. And there will be also fees involved in that.
The NSL's tree competition structure will still maintain the conference competition.
If the association cannot meet all the clubs, then it will be open to others who want to enter the Conference League.
The twist, it's only open to the under-23s as a development pathway.
We're hoping that anyone who is above 23 who wants to play, there are other competitions that PNGFA will organize, which have been organizing in the past. We have our FA Cup competition, we will still have the club competition. And so those players, I know people will say, why can't we be in there? The basic reason is that we are looking at developing the players. So we have a stronger competition. As we all know, when youths play with seniors, you know, you don't see the flair in the game. When you have same group of youths play together, there's a different chemistry in the game. Everybody knows that I'm playing with my same age group. And so we'd like to see the conference competition as a development program within our MAs.
To cap off the tree competition structure, the women's competition will be reintroduced.
The Women's League is going to start only in Lae and Mosby. The New Guinea Islands will not have women and the Highlands will not have women because of the difficulty of transport and the security and the risk. So for the starting of the National League of Women this year, it's going to be only played in Lae and Mosby. Only 6 clubs will be given a placing. So that means preference also goes to the member association or anyone who's willing to put a team in the Women's League.
We'll head out for a few short messages now and we'll be back with more sports.
Welcome back, you're watching Sports Scene. We're now 6 weeks away from the Great Britain Lions versus PNG Kumuls match at the National Football Stadium. Rugby League International Federation's Southern Hemisphere General Manager Jeremy Edwards and Will Ward from Duco Events were in the country this week to give an update on preparations of the tour. We caught up with them during the week and this is what they had to say.
The English women will play the PNG Orchids in Goroka. The main aim to take the match to Goroka is to expose women's rugby league to other parts of the country.
We've decided that why don't we take some of the girls into the areas outside Port Moresby, and one of the areas that came up was Goroka. So we thought, well, let's go there, and predominantly that's for you know, to expose the rest of Papua New Guinea to the women's game, and which we're really excited about.
There is a lot of work going on in organising the Great Britain Tour, not only in PNG but also in New Zealand.
Yeah, it's great actually. Look, we've got a really great event company in New Zealand called Duco Events, which is they're responsible for delivering the event. But there's a lot of work going into this, and of course all the other Pacific Islanders that will be playing. You know, Fiji, Tonga, Samoa, and New Zealand, and even Australia. So there's a lot of work going on in New Zealand, and a lot of work going on up here in Papua New Guinea. But all's on track. Everything's going well, and we're just really excited about what's going to happen here in a couple of weeks' time.
Corporate partners and government support has helped to make this tour a possibility, with the main aim to have long partnerships established between corporate partners and the government.
We're not just doing this once off, we want to come back next year, and then we have the World Cup, and then in 22 we'll be back up here again with more matches. So really what we're designed to do is to move our tournaments around the Pacific and have some really exciting rugby league played for all the nations.
For Newcrest to come on as a partner to support this event makes the event actually possible. So thank you very much for coming on board. Newcrest is not new to supporting rugby league. They support actually our junior and our local leagues in Lear. They do a lot of work with our local leagues in Lear. So as a partner for the sport in PNG, Newcrest is not new to the sport. But at the national level, for coming on board to support this national event, on behalf of the rugby league family, I say thank you. Most of the work we've done in the last 6 years to bring the game from park football to where it is now, where Papua New Guinea has become a force in international rugby league, has taken a lot of hard work and investment, but this would not have been done without our many sponsors and partners. So every partner that comes on board, we value them, and importantly, as Jeremy alluded to, while a lot of international events will be happening, the pinnacle of international rugby league always is the World Cup. And the 2021 World Cup follows from PNG's performance at the 2017 World Cup in PNG, Australia and New Zealand. And both our boys and girls, the Orchids and the Kumuls, have qualified for the 2021 World Cup in England. So from now on, all the matches we play will be about building up towards that. So Newcrest for coming on board to support this event. We hope that you will be a long-term partner.
Continuing our support for sport in PNG, and that is for the upcoming tour of the Great Britain Lions here in PNG, playing both the Kumuls and the Orchids. And we see this as a very exciting event to see the Kumuls and the Orchids on the international stage, and showcasing the great rugby league skills that are in both those teams. Not only the great rugby league skills, but also the professional and respectful manner in which the Kumuls and the Orchids play the game. And that's extremely important to Newcrest. We encourage safety and respect in our workplace and in our communities through our Triple Mary program, which is all focused on stamping out antisocial and violent behaviour. And we see sport as a great vehicle to push those positive messages throughout PNG, but also throughout the world. And so we're very excited to partner with RLIF and PNG RF on this great event. So thank you.
RLIF hopes to make the Great Britain Tour a regular event, but it is something for the Great Britain organisation to decide.
The next great one, we're not over this one first, so look, I'm not sure, but look, we would like to see that on a regular basis, whether that's every 8 years or 6 years or even 10 years. I'm not just too sure. That'd be something for the Great Britain organisation to make the decision on that. But we'd certainly like to see them here travelling around in the Pacific here on a regular basis. So, but in the meantime, we've got the Great Oceania Cup that's started this year and will go on for years to come, and that's a great tournament that allow the Pacific nations to play in that and play in each other's country. It's high time we saw predominantly Fiji versus Samoa here in Papua New Guinea.
What can we expect next year?
Next year, exciting stuff. I'm hoping that next year we would have maybe 4 to 6 international matches back up here in Papua New Guinea, spread across the June, potentially the June long weekend, which is our first window of international football, and also the 3 weeks of international football at the following the NRL Grand Final and the Super League Grand Final. So lots of excitement, lots of different colour, lots of different teams up here, and again, one of the next steps is to take more football into other regions of Papua New Guinea, whether that be back to Goroka or whether it's to Lae or any other parts of this fine country, to spread it around as much as we can and get everybody excited in watching International Rugby League.
Tickets for the Great Britain Lions match against the PNG LNG Kumuls at the Oilsech National Football Stadium has gone on sale today at all Ticketmasters outlets in Port Moresby.
Look, thank you very much for your guys' support, and we're really excited about this, and keep a good eye on your TV and your radio and listen to what exciting things are happening with the International Rugby League. And so with Ticketmaster, jump online or go to the appropriate stores and buy yourself a ticket, and don't leave it till the last minute. We want to see this stadium full of colour and excitement, and to see a lot of the cultures here that make up this great country all coming alive at this venue in November.
We'll go for a short break now, and up next, some basketball and netball. Stay with us.
Welcome back. You're watching Sports Scene. The private company's netball competition will provide an avenue for women in the workforce to participate and stay fit.
Instead of lazing the Sundays away, women in the private companies are looking forward to be a little more active as the private company's netball competition begins.
Half-time on all courts.
That is the 2019 to 2020 season.
We're starting now for 3 trials. The proper season is supposed to start on the 26th, 27th, or at the end of this month, and we're expected to finish by the end of March next year.
Thank you very much for your attendance today.
More and more companies are registering for the Sunday Games as competition president Julie Mai notes the increased participation from the first trials held last Sunday, 6th October.
This is the first trials for the 2019-2020 season. And as you can see, we had a good turnout today. We have a total of 46 teams that attended since 9 o'clock this morning. So although the momentum is quite slow, but with the number of teams turning up today, I'm sure we're looking forward to more teams to arrive before the end of the day. That will be around 4 o'clock before we finish off for today.
Mai says the objective of this competition is so working mothers and women can find time to unwind and socialize with other women and to establish a network that would be worthwhile for everybody and especially the women in this competition.
The competition is basically to create an avenue for working mothers, spouses, who are independents, to come together in the spirit of sportsmanship and participate in this netball competition in order to keep fit and healthy, both mentally and physically.
Besides competing for the top spot for any team, or any competition for that matter, these games are for those women who do not have the time for keeping fit due to work demands, for networking with others, and many other positive reasons.
For me, it keeps me fit. we play as a team and keeping our team together, working together as a team. We work together in the office in separate departments, but then when we get together, it's one team still from different departments. So that's a good thing. So togetherness, teamwork, promoting teamwork, and promoting fitness as well. That's important. It's our first trial game, so we haven't trained yet, but we did well today.
Still in court sports, and the Port Moresby Basketball Association is still keeping busy at this time of the year as they head into second week of a competition where youngsters from around the city are having a go at the sport. Kilawani with this next story.
With the excitement and eagerness to participate, kids all around the big city of Port Moresby got involved in a Port Moresby Basketball Association staged competition last week and are now into the second week of games. And yes, one could not miss the enthusiasm and sportsmanship displayed on court amongst the youngsters. Although the sport is not new, it is a fresh approach for grooming athletes, and especially for the Code of Basketball in Papua New Guinea. General Manager of the POM Basketball Association, Patrick Ani, couldn't agree more.
It's a great initiative set up by our board, Coach John Vera, Lawrence Lahari, and Virgil Hani, Secretary. So this is our second week. As you can see behind me, our under 16 games are going on. The A grade games are on Tuesdays and Thursdays, women's and then the men's team. So yeah, it's a great initiative set up to pick up a bigger pool of competitive players at the junior level.
Whilst it is very early on to judge on favourites, Ani says Kaugera and Chariots are names to look out for.
Per usual, we have our strong teams coming out of Kaugera. They've been in a development camp with the Basketball Federation for the last couple of years. For the last couple of months. We have other clubs, Chariots, Tamaros, and Exodus, that are coming on, and we've also got a good gathering from Third Rocks, our basketball friends of Gary.
For 11 weeks of games here on, there is much potential to be desired in the code, and as far as the competition goes, this stage can offer some good prospects, with the basketball calendar noting some international junior tournaments in the near future.
I think it's a great opportunity that Port Moresby Basketball Association is providing this junior competition for our kids. The PNG Basketball Federation selects, like last year and this year, selected teams to represent PNG in the FIBA Under-15 last year, the FIBA Under-17 Oceania Championships, and then we just recently had the IBF Under-18 3x3. One of the problems is we don't have enough junior competition. So what Port Moresby Basketball Association is doing is great to give this opportunity for these junior kids to at least have some competition experience.
PNG Basketball Federation is thankful for this competition, as it is a way forward and a plus for the code in the country. As the competition progresses, POM-BA will be announcing some surprises, along with an online coverage of the games.
We'll go for a break now, and on the other side, we'll bring you some results from the IAAF World Championships, where Adrine Monagi is taking part in, and also some RWC 2019 results. Stay with us. Welcome back. Two athletics and PNG sprinter and heptathlete Adrine Monagi clocked in a 14.00 second in her 100 hurdles heat on Saturday at the IAAF World Championships in Doha, Qatar. Fresh from the Pacific Games, Monagi maintains her form, although she fell short of her personal best of 13.89 seconds. 24-year-old did quite well on world stage despite having no lead-up competition in between the Pacific Games and the World Champs. In fact, Monagi's opportunity to appear in the event comes as PNG's top-performing athlete rarely Kapotin battles injury and had to pass up the opportunity. And just like the rest of PNG athletics side, the ultimate goal is to accumulate enough points to qualify for the Olympics. And we wish Adrine, Wesley and the rest who are looking to qualify all the best.
To the Rugby World Cup now, and the world event has just gone through week 3 of the competition with the elimination rounds fast approaching. Let's take a look at the results and where teams are up to now on the pool standings.
Last Thursday's meet saw Fiji pulling a 45-10 win over Georgia.
Trying to stop him. There will be no stopping him. Randra into the corner. Very fine kick from Gonjuan. 25 points to 10 for Fiji.
While Ireland gave Russia a 35-0 beating. South Africa, on the other hand, restricted Italy from a win with 49 points to 3. And Australia proved too strong for Uruguay on Saturday, thrashing them 45 points to 10. Argentina failed to conceive a win with a 10-39 loss. And host nation Japan continued a good form, beating Samoa 38 points to 19. Sunday's matches saw New Zealand pulling a massive 71-9 win over Namibia.
Once more they're on the move. Ioane has got it away. And now into the corner goes Perenara, tiptoeing his way down. TJ Perenara will be very, very happy with that one. What a finish.
While France had a close call, beating Tonga just by 2 points. South Africa went on to record a 66-7 win over Canada on Tuesday. While Russia still couldn't record a win in the last 7 days, recording a 61-0 loss to Scotland. And Fiji succumbed to Wales 29 points to 17.
Davis connects on the inside with Williams. Shot is on the score sheet too.
The pool standings as of last night: Japan leads Pool A on 14 points. South Africa with 15 points is at the top of the ladder in Pool B. And with the same number of points, England tops Pool C. And Wales leads Pool D on 14 points. Here are the fixtures for the next 7 days. We'll go for a break now, and on the other side, we'll wrap things here on Sports Scene.
Welcome back to the show. Now to Rugby League, and the 70th season of the Port Moresby Rugby Football League will end this Sunday when the grand final takes place at the Oil Search National Football Stadium. The three divisions, the under-20 men's, the women's division and the senior men's, will take part in the grand final. Connie Tigers will take on Hohola Flies in the under-20 grand final. In the women's, it will be Royals vs Sisters, and in the senior men's will be Hohola Flies against the Brothers. Games are expected to start at 11 a.m.
The 70th season of the Port Moresby Rugby Football League is at an end, with the grand finalist confirmed. The grand final is set for the 13th of October and will be played at the Oil Search National Football Stadium, starting at 11 a.m. The board and administration of Port Moresby Rugby Football League have confirmed the finalists in the under-20 men's, the women's division and the senior men's division.
Okay, the grand finalists confirmed. In the under-20 division, Hohola Flies will play Connie Tigers. In the women, Royals will play Sisters. And in the main one, in the senior grade, Hohola Flies will take on Brothers.
But the finals didn't go smoothly as it would, with the first match on Saturday between the Hohola Flies and the Royals in the senior men's division, ending up with an incident that led to players being banned.
Hohola Flies supporters were found to be drunk on the Oval 2 car park area, spectators area, and as well they invaded the field at the end of the game. Hohola Flies invaded the field, and unfortunately one of the players standing in the high standing of the league currently in the country was also involved. Hohola Flies were found guilty, and they will pay a fine of 5,000 kina. And must I add that fine must be settled before they take the field for the grand final.
In a statement endorsed by the Port Moresby Rugby Football League administration, Mangi Ango of the Royals Club has been banned for 15 years from playing in the POM RFL competition, and for that matter, any other PNG RFL affiliated league competition.
Young player has been issued a 15-year ban. Okay, and on the other part, another senior player, both with Royals and with the Digital Cup competition, has been found guilty of willful damage. He took out an attack at the facilities at the National Football Stadium, PRL White House office, toilet and shower.
In a related incident, the toilet facilities of the POM RFL was damaged using a stand from the barricade. Seen in this footage, David Silva, a match coordinator from the PNG RFL, shows the weapon and the damage caused by Super George from the Royals Club. Super George Fabian was also banned for 15 years for willful damage to property.
This door was broken down.
Former Hohola Flies John Andy, also a former SPPNG Hunters player, now with the Snakes Tigers franchise, was recommended by the POM RFL judiciary to the PNG NRLC and the PNG RFL to be banned for 15 years. He was seen drunk and assaulting fans in the crowd. The 15-year ban is the maximum penalty that can be given to a player by the POM RFL, and only the PNG RFL can ban a player for life.
Once they are banned, they are not allowed to play in any competitions, which are sanctioned under Papua New Guinea Rugby League football. If they are allowed to play by other clubs or other competitions, then that team straight gets forfeited. That's the rules of Papua New Guinea Rugby League football.
Both clubs were fined 5,000 kina each for their reckless behavior during the finals match on Saturday. In the second senior men's qualifying final, the brothers managed to edge Taranga 12 points to 10. It was a tough match with both teams scoring 2 tries apiece, but at the end, with 2 minutes just remaining, the game went into disrepute. The end was in suspense until referee Livingstone Sampson made a controversial call which led to the game going into disrepute for almost 30 minutes. There was 2 minutes remaining on the clock, and with both teams deciding not to continue the match was awarded to the brothers. The match was awarded to the brothers because they were in the lead and 98% of the match was played. The two teams were issued fines of 1,000 kina each for bringing the game into disrepute and not in the interest of the game of rugby league.
The field remains. It is 12 points to 10. So brothers will now contest the grand final on Sunday while Taranga bows out from the race. In addition to that, the two teams for bringing disrepute to the game, both teams face a fine of 1,000 kina, and that 1,000 kina each must be settled before the grand final day.
The match referee Livingstone Sampson was also given a charge because of his blunder on the field.
As a result of his part in that melee that happened on the Sunday main game, he's also been issued a penalty.
Now, before we go, there's going to be a lot of sporting action that will be happening this weekend. Dini, where will you be?
Well, of course, I'll be checking out the POMRFL Grand Final as well. And all the usual rounds, definitely Bissini is the place to check out.
Yes, and we've come to the end of the show. But if you'd like us to cover any sporting event or any sporting story that you'd like us to cover, you can send us an email to sports@emtv.com.pg or message us on our Sports In Facebook page or call us on 312-9200 and ask to speak to any of us, and we'll be more than willing to help you out. Again, thanks for your company. I'm Elijah Levet.
I'm Dinora Strikel.
Good night.